everyone, I'm your host Pensyfan and welcome to the August 2021 Pensyfan Periodical. This is a monthly news series which covers most of the major railroading headlines from around the world, as well as my opinions on them. We have a lot of articles to go over today, so with that in mind, let's get rolling. First off, might as well cover one of the biggest stories of the month, in which Union Pacific's Big Boy has been installed with PTC. In response to federal mandates of positive train control, the Class 1 railroad has successfully equipped the recently restored 4014 with modern equipment, with one of the most notable differences being a large monitor inside the cabin. Now, this topic has stirred quite the debate among rail fans of whether this installation is necessary or if it ruins the look or history of 4014, especially since the FRA told the UP that installing PTC on their steam fleet wasn't necessary. But I personally feel that with the federal government mandating this safety system for virtually all railroads and their fleets, it's probably a good idea to install it on steam locomotives in order to have them run. And it looks like other engines will be following this requirement, with UP claiming that they will install PTC on the 844 next, and with plans to install PTC on NW611 as well. Like I said in my Q&A video, it's better to have steam locomotives compliant with regulations rather than having them not run at all. Up next, Alstom is to upgrade the Ior, the strongest locomotive class in the world in terms of horsepower with over 14,000 horsepower. WebTech has rebuilt their 1000 AC44C6M. SMH has revealed the rebuilt H10 for export to Tanzania, while STM is to export the TG-M8 Elephant class to a mining company in Guinea. Shunters in Poland and Estonia have been converted by Latvian company Degas to run on diesel and gas fuel. The JR DEC 700 battery diesel has begun testing. Siemens has begun testing autonomous LRVs in the Netherlands, while Metrolinx has begun testing the Eglinton Crosstown Light Rail, while Stadler Flirts are being constructed for the Trillium Line in Ottawa. Subway cars for the Luoyang Line 2 have been revealed, while KM presented its PESA ELF 2. TMH has released its new DNA design on what could be an existing locomotive, but it could be wrong. And Virginia and Truckee 11 has been acquired by the V&T. Speaking of which, here's some interesting news. SMS Rail Lines number 9 has been steamed up and will return to operation as one of the few, if not only, steam locomotives in the US to regularly pull revenue freight, so expect a remake of this episode of Remarkable Engines sometime in the future. Speaking of restored steam, LNER A Forster Nigel Gresley has been restored and painted in a wartime black livery. TVRM has acquired a FM 816-66. A NYC Subway R143 set has been wrapped in a Supreme advertisement for service on the L train. Vectron 383110 has been given an EU Year of Rail livery, while Vectron 193218 has been dedicated to Beethoven. Lil Nas X has been named Chief Impact Officer at Taco Bell, and HST interiors can be adapted to attract air passengers. Around this time, DB released the design of their Idinzug City, whose foldable seats are not comfy to say the least. Please don't cramp your passengers by giving them no leg space to attract air passengers. The more legroom, the better. Meanwhile, Britain's hydrogen strategy has stated that electrification is the best method for rail transport, while the British RAA has stated hydrogen is the best, thus presenting somewhat conflicting reports. Greater Anglia stations and trains have been proven to be popular locations for film and TV production. A private company called Construrail has taken over narrow gauge freight operations from FEVE. A 5-car-long BNSF intermodal train has been spotted in Fort Madison, Iowa. The FRA has canceled a new station for Ann Arbor, Michigan due to its cost and having too much parking. And NJT has proposed new service to MetLife Stadium along former Erie Road trackage with...
You what?
Why do you want to use bus service from Secaucus Junction to Meadowlands and use a former railroad right-of-way for a busway? Why can't this be commuter or light rail service along the same route? Why should Secaucus Junction be a station at all for this line? Or at least, why shouldn't the station be extended for my proposed overpass route? Now I feel bad for not submitting this plan to NJT earlier. At least NJT proposed light rail service to Patterson using the former Erie Railroad Newark branch. Now here's a follow-up news section for articles covering stories from previous episodes. Rocky Mountaineers has started their Rockies to Red Rocks service from Denver to Moab, Utah with Silverleaf coaches and leased UP SD70Ms. The STB has affirmed Amtrak's right to pursue Gulf Coast service by overruling NS and CSX's objection. U.S. Sugar has acquired 3 ex-Great Northern coaches from URHS for their upcoming tourist service. The Revolution Very Light Rail vehicle has started testing. The Alstom Coradia Island has started testing in Sweden, which further supports the call for hydrogen-powered trains around the world, as Indian Railways has tested this technology as well. Renfe has joined the U.S. High-Speed Rail Association. Another new design of the N700 has been released for the Shinkansen Nagasaki extension. The Conrail Historical Society has moved an auto part car to Shippensburg, Pennsylvania to be used as a new museum. And KCS has delayed their merger vote to September 3rd, with railway aides using the Kansas City Chiefs to describe the situation. With this vote coming up soon, it will certainly be interesting to see what happens. Well, it looks like CN acquiring KCS is no longer an option. You know what that means.
But if you close your eyes...
Meanwhile, work is to begin for Newcastle Central Station, as well as 48 different stations for LDC in Latvia, while work has been completed for North Chicago, Southall, and Willowbrook stations. In other news, concept art has been released of the luxury G train, while designs have been released of Stadler's trams for the Tramway du Mont Blanc. Transitio is to order Dosso e Amuse. OBB is to order the Siemens Desiro MNL instead of the Bombardier Talon 3. Railpool has ordered Siemens Vectron MS engines, while Sprava Zelenzik received a single Vectron MS. UC has begun testing their Stadler Flirt for their upcoming City Express, while RegioJet has tested their Elf.EU. The NSWD set has entered service. The CityLink Gold Line in Charlotte has commenced operation with battery hybrid LRVs. IKEA made a Swedish meatball scented candle. Russia is to construct a new high-speed railway from Moscow to St. Petersburg, while the Newark Air train is to follow a new route. Operation Lifesaver is to make N, HO, and O-gauge model GP38s to celebrate their 50th anniversary. Norfolk Southern is to reopen their Greencastle intermodal facility, and Brightline is set to return in November, with the private railroad Harding might comment on their official return video. After all that, it is now time for this month's Meme of the Month. This month's Meme of the Month is C&O Hudson at home. And now, the top story of the August 2021 Pensyfan Periodical is CMU has... Wait a minute, am I seeing that right? Is that a British Rail Class 230? So, apparently Carnegie Mellon University imported a former London Underground set and tested it on the East Broad Top Shade Gap branch for something called Pop-Up Metro, which involves future commuter use on a variety of lines. And the person who founded this teaches what now? Sign me up. I'm interested to see what this course has to offer. Although I don't think I can do it this semester since I'm in another university a few states over. There were just so many things to wonder at with this story which leave me confused yet amazed at the same time. First of all, the fact that they successfully imported a battery-powered London D78 stock from Britain for testing on a recently reopened heritage railroad. That combination all in itself is something almost unheard of in American history, with the last imported British rail car being the Pacer rail bus in the 1980s. I remember hearing a proposal to test the BR Class 230s in the US about 3 years ago, but I didn't remember hearing anything of it until now. Second, if you're going to use a Class 230, then good luck getting them past FRA safety standards. The marked single-level cab cars are safer than these subway cars. I'm all for restoring aging equipment for increased service life, but subway equipment should really stay on subway lines, or at the very least, rail lines that are barely used where these multiple units wouldn't run into too much traffic. I must say, the concept for restoring passenger rail service on existing branch lines with cars like these is absolutely fantastic, and would be especially likely in a pro-rail era. Although, I honestly don't see this company using Class 230s as their official rail cars without heavy improvements in safety. Although, if you do want to convert a bunch of rail cars for this service, I know an FRA-approved class of multiple units which are perfect for the same job. Thank you all for watching this month's episode of the Pensyfan Periodical. There have been a lot of rail news headlines for the month, and it will be very interesting to see what the future has in store for all of these articles. Thank you again for watching. Thank you all for over 1,000 subscribers. I couldn't have gotten here without you all. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Have a good day.